Welcome back to your source of daily quotes and wisdom. Take care of your body as if you were going to live forever, and take care of your soul as if you were going to die tomorrow. Hope has two beautiful daughters. Their names are Anger and Courage. Anger, at the way things are, and courage, to see that they do not remain as they are. Faith is to believe what you do not see. The reward of this faith is to see what you believe. In order to discover the character of people, we have only to observe what they love. God provides the wind, man must raise the sail. If you are suffering from a bad man's injustice, forgive him, lest there be two bad men. He who created us, without our help, will not save us, without our consent. To withhold forgiveness is to take poison and expect the unforgiven to die. Sin is looking for the right thing in the wrong place. Since you cannot do good to all, you are to pay special attention to those who, by the accidents of time or place or circumstances, are brought into closer connection with you. Try to acquire the virtues you believe lacking in your brothers. Then, you will no longer see their defects, for you will no longer have them yourself. Let us leave a little room for reflection in our lives, room too for silence. Let us look within ourselves and see whether there is some delightful, hidden place inside where we can be free of noises and argument. Let us hear the word of God in stillness, and perhaps we will then come to understand it. Men are always ready to nose around and find out about others' lives, but they feel lazy to know themselves and correct their own life. If you are pleased with what you are, you have stopped already. If you say, "It is enough," you are lost. Keep on walking, moving forward, trying for the goal. Your first task is to be dissatisfied with yourself, fight sin, and transform yourself into something better. Your second task is to put up with the trials and temptations of this world that will be brought on by the change in your life, and to persevere to the very end in the midst of these things. This is the very perfection of a man, to find out his own imperfections. It is human to err, but it is devilish to remain willfully in error. The will is truly free when it is not the slave of vices and sins. One loving heart sets another on fire. Habit, if not resisted, soon becomes necessity. Do not wander far and wide, but return into yourself. Deep within man, there dwells the truth. The truth is like a lion. You don't have to defend it. Let it loose, it will defend itself. Learn to dance, so when you get to heaven, the angels know what to do with you. It was pride that changed angels into devils. It is humility that makes men into angels. A man may lose the good things of this life against his will, but if he loses the eternal blessings, he does so with his own consent. How can the past and the future be, when the past no longer is and the future is not yet? As for the present, if it were always present and never moved on to become the past, it would not be time, but eternity. The world is a great book of which they that never stir from home read only a page. People travel to marvel at the mountains, seas, rivers, and stars, and they pass right by themselves without astonishment. You aspire to great things? Begin with the little ones. You have enemies, for who can live on this earth without them? Take heed to yourselves, love them. In no way can your enemy so hurt you by his violence, as you hurt yourself if you love him not. In all your movements, let nothing be evident that would offend the eyes of another. Let your old age be childlike, and your childhood like old age. That is so that neither may your wisdom be with pride, nor your humility without wisdom. For it is better to suffer a little want than to have too much. A thing is not necessarily true because badly uttered, nor false because spoken magnificently. While the best men are guided by love, most men are still goaded by fear. The one who is good is free even while being a slave. The one who is bad remains a slave even while being a king. Why is it that we remember with difficulty and without difficulty forget? Learn with difficulty and without difficulty remain ignorant. This awful catastrophe is not the end but the beginning. History does not end so. It is the way its chapters open. How high a price we pay for the burden of habit. I am fitted for life here, where I do not want to be. I want to live there, but am unfit for it. And on both counts, I am miserable. The arrogance is not greatness, but swelling, and the swelling seems big, but it's not healthy. When large numbers of people share their joy in common, the happiness of each is greater, because each adds fuel to the other's fire. Peace is not sought in order to provoke war, but war is waged in order to attain peace. Let us on both sides lay aside all arrogance. Let us not on either side claim that we have already discovered the truth. Let us seek it together as something which is known to neither of us. For then only may we seek it, lovingly and tranquilly, if there be no bold presumption that it is already discovered and possessed. If we did not have rational souls, we would not be able to believe. When the king asked him what he meant by infesting the sea, the pirate defiantly replied, "The same as you do when you infest the whole world. But because I do it with a little ship, I am called a robber, and because you do it with a great fleet, you are an emperor. Love and do what you will. If you are silent, be silent for love. Or if you cry out for love. If you chastise, chastise for love. If you spare, spare for love." When regard for truth has been broken down, or even slightly weakened, all things will remain doubtful. Right is right, even if no one is doing it. Wrong is wrong, even if everyone is doing it. The punishment of every disordered mind is its own disorder. Miracles are not contrary to nature, but only contrary to what we know about nature. Love begins with a smile, grows with a kiss, and ends with a teardrop. God is always trying to give good things to us, but our hands are too full to receive them. I held my heart back from positively accepting anything, since I was afraid of another fall, and in this condition of suspense, I was being all the more killed. Pray as though everything depends on God, and work as if everything depends on you. If any man has the nerve to say that he is chaste and faithful to his wife, and this gets known, he is ashamed to mix with other men, whose behavior is not like his, for they will mock him and despise him, and say he's not a real man. For man's wickedness is now of such proportions that no one is considered a man unless he is overcome by lechery, while one who overcomes lechery and stays chaste is considered unmanly. Where your pleasure is, there is your treasure. Where your treasure, there your heart. Where your heart, there your happiness. Humility must accompany all our actions, must be with us everywhere. For as soon as we glory in our good works, they are of no further value to our advancement in virtue. It's not in the book or in the writer that readers discern the truth of what they read. They see it in themselves if the light of truth has penetrated their minds. Indeed, man wishes to be happy, even when he lives so as to make happiness impossible. Ignorance and stupidity are given the names of simplicity and innocence. Idleness appears as desire for a quiet life.